Welcome back to Sunrise. Now, to commemorate Earth Week, the Kingston Harbour Cleanup Project will host the Great Mangrove Cleanup at several sites along Kingston's harbour, the coastline that is, on this Saturday, April 27. Here to tell us more about this initiative is the CEO of Grace Kennedy Foundation, Caroline Mafood, and Ecosystems Coordinator at the National Environment and Planning Agency, Chanel Reyna. Good morning, ladies.
Welcome, ladies.
My
Welcome.
fellow tree huggers. Chanel is like,
fellow
before we even get into the activity on Saturday, let's talk a bit about why even cleaning up the mangroves is so important. I'm going to throw this one to Nepo.
Sure. So mangroves is a critical ecosystem that helps protect our shoreline from storm surge and combats coastal erosion. It's also a habitat to a number of fauna and flora that we use in our day-to-day lives, like your lobster, your shrimp, your snapper. So protecting them is a role that all Jamaicans should try and play in some point in their lifetime.
And then obviously for the foundation, why would this be an area or a direction that you guys would hone in on?
So, well, first of all, we're downtown. We've been there 102 years.
Right.
It's our backyard. It's
Right.
important to us, to Grace Kennedy. We've been funding a chair in environmental management for over 30 years, long before the environment was sexy. We were doing it. And our current chair is Professor Mona Weber, who is the mangrove guru for the Kingston Harbour. That's her baby. And as a result, we just felt like it was really important to start cleaning up the harbour and protecting the mangroves. This is the second kind of project we're working on because it's critical. It's vital to. According to her, every hectare of mangroves is valued at about $400 million US.
Wow.
So it is, from an economic point of view, vital to Jamaica.
You know, this morning when I was thinking about the segment, I was saying, you know, Grace, in terms of the foundation, has been doing this long before, you mentioned about the environment was sexy, long before corporate social responsibility was sexy. This is just something that you genuinely believe in and know that it needs this kind of support. And so, I mean, but there's always room for more. There's always more room for more support for people to jump on the bandwagon. You've been in it from the start. I mean, to what extent do you facilitate more people coming on board, even other entities coming on board and joining with you?
Well, for this project, well, we specifically named it the Kingston Harbour Cleanup Project and not the Grace Kennedy Project or anything like that, because it is a national push. And for this initiative that we're having for Earth Week, we have a ton of corporate entities involved. We have a set of corporate entities that are actually taking care of particular sites. So we have Wisynco, we have CMEX, we have Pepsi, we have JN, we have Scotiabank. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. Oh, and of course Petrojam.
Right.
Petrojam, because we have one of our barriers for the Kingston Harbour project at Petrojam. And along with that, at our site at Gunboat Beach, which is, we already have 800 people signed up for.
That's brilliant. Brilliant.
We have a ton of corporate entities joining us there. And of course, just everybody from Jamaica who wants to participate and help, right?
Yes, definitely.
Tree huggers.
All of us.
That's right.
All of us.
I love that we do this.
Yes,
I've made it my duty to be a part of some of these cleanups, and I've involved my daughter, so she's also aware of it, and keeping the environment clean. I love that we do this. However, I would love us to get to a point where we don't have to be doing the cleanups. What do we do to educate our people that they understand the value of what we have in our little land called Jamaica and how important it is not to litter or not to get the plastics in these spaces and the dire impact it can have? What do we do, Chanel?
Well, initiatives like the cleanup is one example of some of the things we can do, because what we're hoping to do is inspire behavioral change so that people realize that you living in Constant Spring, you throwing your garbage out your car window or just not putting it in a proper receptacle, that eventually ends up in the sea. There's a saying, away is a place. And with this cleanup, we're hoping that people can see the place, they can see where their garbage ends up, and hopefully that will encourage them to be a bit more responsible with their environment.
Can you say that one more time?
Away is a place.
So you throw it away, it goes somewhere.
It goes somewhere.
I'm going to use that.
Yes. And I'm going to quote you in the words of the great Chanel Rayner.
But Chanel, NEPA, as a regulatory agency, has, you know, you do public education, you do enforcement. There's so much that you try to do to cover your bases. But I mean, is there anything else from a regulatory perspective? Because I mean, we're doing the public education, but what about is it something that requires stricter enforcement? I mean, is it that people have to be punished, or is it moral suasion that we just have to go use?
I think it's a combination of both, but it's more towards people's behavior and the sense of responsibility that they have for the environment. I won't say that stricter enforcement or penalties would affect the change we want, because that comes with a lot of issues in terms of resource management. So I think each individual just needs to learn to put it nicely, to not be nasty.
Individual responsibility, and not dirty up Jamaica.
I had an experience years ago where I saw a school trip in the summer, took their children up to, they took the children up to, what do you call it, cassava piece.
Oh, yes.
So they saw the gully
garbage.
right there, and they took them, you know, all over key points in the corporate area, and then they took them out to the harbor, and to show them that a way is a place.
Yes.
And so that, you know, because you're trying to build environmentally aware individuals, maybe a part of the solution, what it is to have children, focus on the children. I mean,
We've been doing that.
you know, focus on the children.
You said you've been doing that.
Yes.
Tell me about
so
that.
part of our outreach program for the Harbour Project is we have an offloading site where all of the waste, so you know we have these barriers up at 7 of the most polluting gullies. And we've actually blocked about 2 million kgs of waste coming down, okay? Without a lot of rain. Can you imagine if we had a lot of rain?
Right.
So what we do is we have this offloading site which is spotless, although it's a garbage site, a place to sort garbage and plastic. And we do school tours. So we bring the kids down to the barrier, they see the barrier, they see what's happening. I love the idea of going upstream, by the way. And then they come to the offloading site and we talk about why you shouldn't pollute. And it's been great because they go back home and if their parents are not putting the plastic in the right places, they're upset. So
walk us through the details of Saturday.
Sure. So on Saturday, basically what's happening is we have these 7 sites. At this point, because we have so many people very interested in participating, we are going to see how we can move them to other locations. Right. But the Kingston Harbour project itself will be at Gunboat Beach and Buccaneer Beach. And to be very honest, we start at 6:30, but by 8:30, everybody's just like exhausted. It's so much work. There's so much plastic. And we just hope to get the beaches clean, because at the end of that, what we want to do, we've done drone footage of what it looks like now. We want to do drone footage at the end.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Because we want to see that the barriers are making a difference. So when we do this cleanup, we should hopefully see a big difference when International Coastal Cleanup Day comes. I'm hoping we won't have that much to clean up on this side of the harbour. So that the barriers are making an impact. Yeah.
I saw something on the graphic a while ago that was on screen for people to register.
Sure.
Do you have to register?
Yes. Well, you don't have to register. We would prefer it because we're trying to, you know, get our numbers and everything. So it's, yes, there you go. You go to our Instagram page, Clean Kingston Harbour, and it will take you to the site, and you can just register there.
Or they can just screenshot
they can
that if they're watching
that
it
right now.
Scan it there.
Code right now. Yeah, definitely.
Very cool.
Awesome, awesome. Our guests have been Caroline Mahfood, the CEO of the Grace Kennedy Foundation, and of course, Ms. Chanel Reyna, Ecosystems Coordinator of the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA. There's more Sunrise after the break.